to your very own art class, Art and Roads with me, Nidhi. So this class is designed specifically for beginners who are yet to explore exactly what to do and how to practice art. So we'll be starting with the very basic techniques, starting with how to use those pencils and what different line forms are. We'll begin this class. Let's see.
We have different type of pencils starting from HB, 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B and 10B. So just like we have a number line for our numbers, we have a grading line for the pencils that we use. The middle point of which is taken as the HB pencil. So as we move towards the right hand side, we grade our pencils using B, 2B, 4B, 6B and so on in the increasing order. So when I mention the term B, B here stands for bold lead. That means when you'll be using this pencil, you will be getting dark and smudgy lines. So these pencils are used for shading. So when we move towards the left hand side, we'll be grading our pencils starting from H, 2H, 4H, 6H. When I'm using the term H, H here stands for hard lead. As in, when you'll be using this pencil, you'll be getting fine lines. Okay, so what you have to remember is that when you are shading, you have to use the right hand side section of the grading line, that is HB, B, 2B till 10B pencils. Next, we have to see what kind of different lines are there that we have to practice before we begin any artwork. So first is the horizontal lines. The more you practice, the more straight lines you'll get. The next is the vertical lines that you can draw as close to each other as possible. The third form is a diagonal line in the upward direction. And the fourth is diagonal lines in the downward direction. So what you have to remember is that while you are drawing these lines, you don't have to rotate your notepad. We are doing this just because we have to see what kind of grip do we have on the pencil. And while doing this, do not rotate your page. So we have these lines, and by using these lines, we can create another patterns and lines such as a sinusoidal waveform or a triangular waveform or a simple basic dotted line. So these are the different patterns and lines that we can practice, and you have to practice them daily without fail so that you know what kind of grip and how smoothly you can do. The next is increasing the length of the lines that we just practiced. So those were very short lines. So when you have to practice this, you have to practice this on a full length page, from left to right, from right to left, from up to down, from down to up. In all the possible directions, you just have to practice and practice this step. Diagonal lines, again from up to down, and diagonal lines from down to up. So these lines can be as close and as far apart, but practice that these lines are closer. Next you have to practice is making a circle. So then you have to keep making circle, circle, circle until you actually find the actual circle there somewhere. So this will also tone your muscles of the hand wherein you practice. Let's practice another one. Let's see. So that is how you tell your muscles of your hand that is how a circle is being drawn without having to use a compass. Also, let's practice an ellipse, and you just have to keep drawing it. Let's draw a smaller circle. And that is how you will perfect the art of drawing a circle after you're done practicing it. So you just have to keep doing this. The next is the different type of shapes. So we have all learned different types of shapes as kids. So there is a square, a triangle, a rectangle, and of course a circle. Some very basic shapes. So what we do is we find shapes in the very basic objects that we can find. Let's start with a square. So let's make two squares and form a cube, a 3D square, what we call is. And let's see what object can we make out of a cube. So we have all learned in our geometry classes how cube is made, right? So now we will be making a chair out of a cubical form. So what we are doing is we are finding different shapes in the objects that are available around us. So remember, when you are making lines, they are supposed to be parallel to each other to give that perspective. All geometry here, honestly. So that is how we have made a chair out of a cubical form, right? And then you erase the extra lines and you get an object. So this is where a square is done. Let's see what a triangle can do. So triangle, very simple. You can make a cone anyway. Here, let's make a birthday cap and let's put a pom-pom on it. Right, what else can we make? Okay, an ice cream cone maybe? Yes, so let's make an ice cream cone, put some ice cream, let's melt it a bit and stuff. Right, so a triangle is also covered. Let's see what a rectangle can do. Alright, so what different shapes of rectangle objects we have? Let's see, let's draw a rectangle first, a big rectangle, and we have a pencil in hand, so let's draw a pencil. So if you look at a pencil closely, you'll find that the pencil is of a rectangular shape. So that is how we start to observe shapes around us, and that makes it easy. So rectangle is also done. One left is circle. So we can make an apple out of a circle. So that is how you explore the shapes around you, right? So we'll just give a basic shape of an apple, and that is how we figure out that this is what a circle does. So you just have to practice all these lines and different shapes, identify shapes. You can make 3D objects using 3D shapes, or 2D objects using 2D shapes. Just practice, and we'll see next